not taking the money when he had the chance. According to The Athletic, Dak turned down a contract offer with an annual salary of around $30 million before the season. He started the season on a high note with 3 straight wins, but it's been a different story the last 2 weeks. He threw picks in a loss to the Packers at home yesterday, a week after no touchdowns and a pick in a loss to the Saints in New Orleans. That's without Drew Brees on the field. Stephen A., did Dak make a mistake not signing an extension before the season?
Damn sure looks that way. And I think that needs to be said. And here's why I feel this way. I don't have any questions about Dak's skills. He's going to continue to get better. Yesterday, he struggled for the vast majority of that game before he came on strong in the second half. We get that. 3 interceptions is not a good look. We get all of that. He's certainly not in the conversation right now for one of the top 3 MVP, as one of the top 3 MVP candidates, like we were saying a couple of weeks ago. We get all of that. But here's why I would tell you that I think he's made a mistake. This is the reason bigger than anything else. Kellen Moore, first-year offensive coordinator, along with Jason Garrett, head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. There are questions about both. In Kellen Moore's case, the only question mark is you're young, relatively inexperienced. It's your first year at the helm as the offensive coordinator. So you got some things to prove. We'll see. That's the only question mark about him. You just don't know yet. In the case of Jason Garrett, we all have known for years this man shouldn't be the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. They should have a much more qualified coach in tow. A Lincoln Riley who's en route to having back-to-back Heisman Trophy winners if Jalen Hurts continues to look the way that he's been looking.
That's the dude they got to go get.
Sean Payton in New Orleans. The job that he is doing with Teddy Bridgewater in the absence of Drew Brees has re-elevated Sean Payton's stature as one of the great coaches in the game today. There's just no denying it. The man knows what he's doing. To make that adjustment from Drew Brees to Teddy Bridgewater and to have the Saints moving without a hiccup, you can't say enough about Sean Payton right now. Those are the kind of, when you think about Jerry Jones, the money you spent on La'el Collins, Jalen Smith, Ezekiel Elliott, etc., your offensive line, the things that you've done, the personnel that you put in place on both sides of the ball, to sit up there and to shortchange your team in the fashion that you are by having a coach that nobody believes is elite. You've got to sit up there and say to yourself, if you're Dak Prescott, what kind of position am I truly in to succeed to a point where it's just undeniable that I'm worthy of what I'm asking for? And that's my thing.
By the way, I don't think you can have it both ways. I don't think anyone can, and that's why my position's been correct all the time. When people are like, hey, did the Cowboys make a mistake not signing Dak Prescott already? No. Did Dak Prescott make a mistake? No. And let me explain why again. Dak Prescott will set the market. The next guy up does, and the Cowboys have clearly decided he's the franchise quarterback. Until Mahomes obliterates the market, no one sets it by much. They set it by a little bit, a tiny bit of guaranteed money, a smidge more in terms of average annual salary. So that's what he'll do. He'll beat Goff. Goff takes Wentz. He'll take Goff and so on. And it's going to be the same number, give or take, like no matter what. So it doesn't matter if did the team make a mistake? What if Dak wins the MVP? It wouldn't raise his salary at all if he's already going to reset the market by a little. Well, what if Dak really just shows that he's not much better than he was last year? He's still getting the money. And I'll tell you why. The team has clearly set this up in the following way. We're going to isolate everything. We're going to isolate for 2 variables. Coach, quarterback, and we're going to find out what's what. And they're always going to choose the quarterback. They were always going to choose the quarterback. They gave him an offensive line. They gave the 2 of these guys an offensive line, a lead wideout, a deep receiving core. They brought back Jason Witten. They signed their running back long term. They signed up most of their defense, which should be elite at least 2 levels and pretty good on the 3rd level. Like, they got everything. And when Dak, let's say, Stephen A., if they mess up, what are they going to win, 9 games? If they win 9 or 10 games, make the playoffs but lose in the first round, barely miss the playoffs, you think they're going to say, nah, you know what, young, improving franchise quarterback, take a hike, we're going to stick with Jason Garrett? They're going to get rid of the coach and say, okay, finally, we'll find out about the quarterback.
He got in trouble yesterday, by the way.
Who?
Jason Garrett.
But that's going to be, they will find out about the quarterback after they've paid him because they will not let him walk.
Well, nobody's worried about them letting him walk. This is not a debate as to whether or not Dak Prescott's going to be wearing another uniform or he's not going to get paid in excess of $30 million. The point is that you have, at this particular point, you are fighting to set the market. And if you are saying, if what you're saying is correct, that it's by a fraction, then you got to wonder why the fixation. Because every time you step out on that football field and you drop back to pass, I don't know if you noticed, but they put some wood on that brother yesterday.
Yep.
You understand? You can't rule out the potential for an injury. Right. You can't rule out the potential of him jeopardizing his future well-being because he's waiting and procrastinating over setting the market. So in other words, you know what? I get $35 million at $35.5 million. I set the market.
32.
I set the market. Okay, but excuse me, I could have signed for 33.
But wait,
it becomes excessively dangerous when you look at it from that perspective, particularly if you're playing the sport of football at that position.
Okay, now we're having a different
with the kind of wood they placed.
Now we're having a different and better argument, I believe. You're right about that. If it were me, it would be much less important to reset the market than it would be to get within spitting distance of it and get all those tens of millions of guaranteed dollars. Here's the issue. You notice the one number that hasn't been reported by anyone?
Guaranteed money?
What's the guaranteed money?
Yeah.
What guaranteed money did they offer him? So they could be like,
And falling to 1-4 are the Falcons, the most disappointing team in the league. How about Deshaun Watson? We get into that. First Take is back tomorrow with more of the best debate on television. What does a new head coach in Washington mean for quarterback Dwayne Haskins? Plus, is Deshaun Watson the real deal? And, Tuesdays mean we got Steven's A-list of his top 5 NFL teams coming your way. First Take, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
This is the family.